Hello, I'm Karen, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you 8 hidden crochet clues inside the Voynich manuscript on page 42. Okay, this is the actual pattern that I was working with and that I've already shared some things. If you've not been watching my videos, this is not going to make any sense probably, but I'm playing a game inside the Voynich manuscript. Okay, so the last video that I shared how you could play the game, and I used King Charles, current king, as an example of how you could do it. So for this one we're using, say it's 42. So to begin the game, what I would do is say, I stand before thee, sire, as a valiant knight. I release thee from thy vow of secrecy, to answer if I'm right. I present to thee all 8 of my clues, and stand before thee, sire, trembling in my shoes. Okay, so from this first page, what we're doing here is we're picking up this, just the first letter symbol from all the way down there. These are all of those there, and what we do is we turn them into English letters, just so you can see them all. And then that's what the letters look like this way round, and we find the words crochet, richer, church, rich, cot, and rich. Crochet we found already on page 2, which was crochet's crochet. So that's my first clue. My second one is using the method where we break the letters apart and rebuild them. They actually convert into Queen Elizabeth Crochet's crochet. That's clue number 2. Then this here is the actual instructions that I've found by following the clues to be able to create this middle section there of the pattern all the way up to round 10. And so that's another crochet clue, so that's number 3. If we turn those symbols into English letters, we get the words rope, hook, hero, hooter, and pitcher. Hook obviously is a crochet clue, so that's clue number 4. If we use the method where we're allowed to break the letters apart, rebuild them, it rebuilds as I, Queen Elizabeth Crochet, and we've got 4 circles left over. The circles on top of each other represent the 8. The 8 is a treble crochet stitch, so there is our clue number 5. And then moving on, we've now got a second pattern. So when I completed this and I made it up to the round 10, which we were supposed to do, so as you can see now, you can see letters through these little windows. Okay, those letters that there are here, which those make, this is an actual individual pattern. Actually you can make it on its own, and it is using the treble crochet stitch, and that's what I've used for the edging on the blankets and the cushion. So that is another clue, so that's crochet clue number 6. If we convert those into the English letters, and yes, this symbol here is actually a question mark. So this one is one of the games that we would play where we're looking for a missing letter. So from the letters that we've got, that's what I could make across the top. And then the missing letter for this one was an E for error, an E to be able to make cockle. And I was left with I, O, O. We turn the I around so we can turn it into the letter H, which means that we're missing one more letter, which is a hook. For those people that say you could also have it as a P and it could be something else, if because of these ones are both the letter E, you can actually have the letter E and that would turn into a lowercase k, so it still would be a K. So that's clue number 7. If we break those words into, so these, just that set of letters there, break those apart using the question mark as well to be able to rebuild, it actually converts into 8 crochet hooks. So there are 8 clues from page 42. And I know there's going to be many people that didn't want to believe that it is actually Queen Elizabeth I. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to page 1, which has just these little blobs there, and there's no actual plants or anything else for you to actually use. Okay, using exactly the same methods that we've been using, picking up the letters from the left hand side. These are all the letters there, and as you can see here, those there, they actually turn into trick T. Okay, so it could be pronounced tricked as well, but it is actually a trick T. So if we actually get the letters and put them this way around, there it actually builds the words put, sirs, trust, roots, trick. And on this one we're using the method where we're allowed to break the 2 C's to turn into an S. So if we have the Putzer's Trust Roots trick, where we do it to break it apart and rebuild it, that will actually rebuild into crochets, crochet and crochet, which is a double crochet and also crochet clues. And that will also build into Queen Elizabeth crochet and the number 8. The number 8, which I've been talking about, that converts into all. And so the all 8 was the clues that I've been talking about previously. Okay, I've just got my papers out of sync because I'm silly. Just move that over there. And right, so moving on to the next section. So this next section here, if you look at the book, I know you can't see very well if you're looking at it there, but basically you've got paragraphs, then there's a space, and then there's like an extra word or extra lot of symbols at the end. There's 4 paragraphs, so I've picked up all 4 of them. So they are here. I've turned them into the English letters. The second one, I could turn that into words, so that's he post clock, or that could actually be he stop clock. Then we've got lace hook, and then we've got those letters there. If I put those this way around, all these ones that have got a pink circle around are the ones that I've had to break apart to rebuild so we can finish off the word. So we've got lace, sock, crochet, hook, and then we've got pickle is pickler. Now, if you remember, this joins back to when I was on about King James. I think I said he was King James V before, and he's not. He's King James VI. He's always been King James VI. But when I made the star, looking through the window, we could actually see the pickle. And it was to honour E.R. Pickle. And also his other clue was inside his book, in the title, which was, it was to must find E.R. book that called Recipe. Okay, so that was a clue for that one there. The other clue we've got here, so this very top one there, if we actually do this and we turn it into this, there's no vowels, but if we break it apart and rebuild it, we can get Elizabeth, and we're missing the letter E. Okay, so this brings me on to a comment that I actually had from one of my viewers. They said on page 2, when I was sharing my things there, that this image here behind looks like a ball of yarn. It is actually this plant, the leaf there shining through, because the pages are so thin. But it is a great find, and I said it was a great find, and I've thanked that viewer for that one, so thank you for that. Because on this page here, look, you can see there's all these leaves. The green leaves shine through. There are 14 leaves on that page that shine through. If you count down to the 14th line and across to the 14th letter or symbol, you will actually find this symbol here, which is the letter E in when you translate it into English, and Queen Elizabeth is 14 letters long. Okay, and then if we rebuild, I'm dropping my things. Okay, so then putting it into the sentence, we've got lace sock is crochet hook, and we've got pickler and pickle. The pickler pickle will convert into Elizabeth's 8, and then when you turn it into the make it so it makes more sense, we've got Elizabeth's lace sock is crochet hook 8. Right, so this is a 4mm crochet hook. Okay, it was also known as the number 8 crochet hook, and as I've demonstrated previously, on the actual bell gauge we've got number 14, and it actually slots into the 14. So we're linking all of these things. So this has actually got 3 different clues, so that's a treble. Then if you look back to my older videos where I was trying to work out what this code could possibly mean, I realised that you could break the letters apart and you could rebuild them as a crochet pattern. Okay, so the lace sock, because I'm missing a sock, I've got all the other patterns. So what I did, followed the instructions, and this is how we can prove that this is genuinely the correct pattern. So the other patterns that I was actually making previously, when you actually put them over the actual text, they would fit. So this one here makes its way from the bottom of the text, it makes its way to that what looks like a little K thing. Just lift that up a little bit so you can see those symbols. Okay, so if you make it so you've got 8 rounds, because the clues are always to do with an 8, and you just pull up your tail end as you do when you're going to leave your work, that loop actually hangs over this symbol here, which is actually H and an E. Okay, then the clues, because I've got what looks like a letter 3, a number 3 there. So we needed to do an increase to be able to go up. So if we increase, and this has got 2 rows of the increase, this, if you hold it to the bottom of the text, makes it to this K here, and the loop hangs over this symbol here, which is the letter I. And then if we carry on to complete it, so we go all the way to the top, there is 24 lines of text, so we make it 24 rounds long. We've done the next increases because it's got 3 increases in total. When you finish it off and you've got this little loop that's hanging over the end, on the very, very top row, that loop sits and hangs over this, that symbol there, which is actually the letter E. Okay, so we get H-E-I-E, which is 14 pieces. Remember, that's also a clue. That converts into a hook, which we've already showed is the hook, which also converts into the 2 lots of 8, which we've got the treble crochet. And if you use the 14, you can actually make Eliza with a dash, or it can be the dash and Beth. So you put them together to create Elizabeth, because those 2 lines turn the lowercase I into a capital I, or those could actually turn that into capital B, but it still would say Elizabeth. Okay, so then I'd presented all of my evidence that I was providing, and then I'd get to the very end, and then I would actually say, I do believe this is your book. I caught you with your crochet hook. And then I would present Queen Elizabeth with a pair of her socks with the triple crochet frill on the end that she's got there, which fits over the pattern perfectly. I know these don't look like normal standard socks of today, but obviously I'm talking about the 1500s here. These fit beautifully as an ankle sock, okay? So that's everything. So thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, thank you for subscribing. Bye for now.